So, after listening to Lonely, track one, where were you when you said you needed a combo?
Where was I when I said I needed a combo? Bro, I was in New York City, just like on some by myself shit. Like, for real, like not having the environment that I was accustomed to, and then not having, like, you don't notice like how your mother's love impacts you type shit. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Or like you're like, I got a sister that is pretty much like my mom, and it's like you need that womanly presence. And I feel like that was the hugest missing piece. Because when I think about it, I have my homies, you know what I mean? Like, I have people around me. But there was like an empty part where it's just like, nah, like I need a little bit of nurture in my life.
mm,
And that's kind of where that came from, I guess. And those keys of that sample was just, it just pulled that out of me, bro.
damn. Making a song like that, do you feel like there's a level of vulnerability that like you didn't want to include into a song?
Oh, definitely. Like, I said some things in that song that, for one, sound corny. You know what I mean? Like, I was not trying to sound cool about it. It was like, yo, I got regrets. Like, can we have sex, please? You know what I mean? Like, not in a cool, rich way. You know what I mean? Like, I was legitimately like, nah, like, these are the parts of me that are actually, void right now. And yeah, I went to a different level of vulnerability, even just sharing the fact it was like it's made gone off the whiskey. Like, I was drinking alone at the crib. You know what I mean? Like, and I
Damn.
don't do that. You know what I mean? So it was a real time and place in my life where I had to learn how to love myself, or like be by myself, like legitimately. Like, I
Mm.
wouldn't even say love myself, because that's something that, like, I don't know. I think that there's plenty of opportunity for that, but learning how to be by yourself is an acquired, skill and comfort.
Mm. How different is that version of Made compared to the one I'm speaking to right now?
A very different circumstance and scenario, you know what I mean? Different relationship status, and definitely a more evolved way of looking at relationships with other people and with self. Like, I had to realize all my relationships, I was in those, and I contributed to that, to that space and to
Yeah.
that feeling that I was getting. So I felt lonely while I was with people. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Because I didn't realize, there was an abandonment issue, you know what I mean, that came from like a younger time in my life that I couldn't pinpoint because it wasn't major, but it created a tide, it created a ripple, you know what I mean? So definitely more evolved, and definitely knowing that everything that I feel like is missing from an environment or from a relationship can be fulfilled by myself first, and
Mm.
then, by having a relationship with self and by having a relationship with God, and just understanding like what things do people actually um, serve while you're in communion with them. You know what I mean? Is something that I had to learn. You know what I mean? Like, this project was almost called The Vicious Cycle,
Mm.
because when I came out here, I got into a relationship, and it was a fast forward version of what happened before that.
Mm.
And then I started to realize, I'm like, oh shit, this is not that other person. Like, the only one common denominator is me. You know what I mean? So like, I had to learn how to be transparent. I had to learn how to commit. I had to learn how to do all of these things that had to do with me first. And that
Mm.
was humbling. You know what
Mm.
I mean? Because the last person, they let me have it. They let me know what I was doing, and I didn't like that. I did not like that shit. But I can't lie. Like, it made me look at me, like, and I didn't take it personally, but I took it as a responsibility, you know what I mean, to handle myself, like, for real. So,
So after making a song, like, how have you learned about yourself and handling loneliness?
um, I learned to, like, in the song, I said, double header on TNT, like watching the basketball game.
Yeah, I
I
fuck with
look
that
better
one a
when
lot.
I'm being me, myself, and just me and me. And it's like learning how to do the things to have fun and have relaxation and comfort and development for myself. You know what I mean? And at the beginning of that verse, it talks about things that are negative weight, like Netflix, skipping or getting breakfast, like eating through your problems. Like I had to work through those things to get to a space where it's just like, nah, like right now where I'm at is just like, nah, bro, just go take a shower, wash your face, exfoliate, you know what I mean? Go on a hike or, have a conversation with somebody that you love or, you know what I mean? Doing different things to get to an evolved place as opposed to like just coping through comfort. You know what I mean? But yeah, during that time there was a lot of I guess medication through other comforts or vices,
So, damn. Where do you want people to be when they listen to the song?
I want them to be honestly and transparently where they're at. I think the beautiful thing about this record is that it works if you're sitting in a dark space, but it also works really well if you're walking in nature.
Facts.
Like I've hiked to this project, I've ridden my bike to this project, and I'm just like, I feel good sonically and vibrationally while this is playing. You know what I mean? But at the same time, if you're in a darker space, it's like, I would want it to be a level of therapy where it's like, nah, like take out a notebook and write what you're actually thinking or feeling down. You know what I mean? Have self-therapy. You know what I mean? So.
And then my last question is, why is it track 1?
Why is it track 1? Well, for one, I think it was the actual first track that started off this project. I found this sample and I tried to do something with it years prior when I was living in New York, and I just could not quite figure it out. And I had the song, but I didn't have the structure. And then when I got to step outside of the feeling, the rawness of, trying to express that, I was able to really like lock it in and make it a complete song, And I think that's why I ended up being track 1. It's just like where I began through that journey. It was the beginning of the cycle. It closed me out of a relationship, and then it grew a new one. And like I said before, like it became a cycle and an exercise. Because when you end up lonely, you be like, man, fuck it, man. I don't care about. I'm outside. I'm doing whatever I got to do, whatever the case might be, or I'm inside not doing shit. You know what I mean? But as you listen to the project as it progresses, it becomes more. It comes from a more closed off standpoint, and then by the time you get to the middle, it's like, yo, like I want to be chosen again. I want to be, in a loving position again. So I think it's just the beginning of the cycle. That's why it's track 1.
How did I get by myself? Told me I'm stuck, I need help. I need a Convo, I need a prime, I need it go Netflix, get breakfast, depression, bone dry, that neglection. Is that a word? I'm questioning why this shit matters. Is patterns, the ladder is fine. I need answers, please answer. Need plans to survive. You know what? Take it easy. You know what? Watch some TV. Double header on TNT. I look better when